Yo, what's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join me on Patreon to get the complete version, the link is in the description. Pirate. My soul shattered and split into 10 pieces, get 10 fruit abilities. 1 SS. Chapter 1, the special prisoner requested by Saint Satan. Pirate. I'm cracked but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 229th. Chapter 1, the special prisoner requested by Saint Satan. Next. 1485 in the Hyuan calendar, 56 years ago, 1541 in the official Hyuan calendar. A magnificent warship flying the world government flag is speeding from Eni's lobby towards Marineford, the Marine headquarters, using the high-speed ocean currents. Then travel from Marineford to Red Harbor, located beneath the Red Earth. In the lower deck of this warship there were cells holding 50 or 60 strong prisoners. The prisoners' numb faces were filled with despair and hopelessness, and their dull eyes had long since lost their light. Their country perished. They were reduced to prisoners of war and slaves. The most devastating thing was that they were even chosen by an enemy general to become slaves sent to the Holy Land of Mary-Giois. The thought of becoming slaves of the celestial dragons filled them with even greater despair. It was more terrifying than death itself. Outside these cells there is a separate steel cage. Inside the iron cage was a severely injured young man, his entire body bound by steel chains, his hands and feet shackled with sea stone handcuffs and leg irons, and an explosive collar around his neck. I've been living a perfectly good life, I've only just begun to integrate into this world. How could a war of annihilation suddenly break out like this? Grandpa, Grandma, I'm so sorry I couldn't save you. The young man was in excruciating pain, his body trembling instinctively, his face covered in gruesome bloodstains. His face was covered in blood, his lips were pale and cracked, and his breathing was weak. There was an extremely faint dark blue crescent mark on his forehead. It's obvious that they've suffered inhuman torture. Clang. The door to the ship's cabin cell was opened. Several agents dressed in black suits walked in. We'll be at Marineford soon. Give him some water. We can't let that guy die. This is a special prisoner specifically requested by Saint Satan. I never expected this guy could still use his devil fruit powers even while handcuffed in sea stone handcuffs. This completely breaks the rules of this world. No wonder the 5 elders specifically requested him. The eyes of the several agents behind their sunglasses were filled with seriousness and coldness. HMPH, we can't let him die, but we also can't let him recover his strength, otherwise this BD will attack us again and try to escape. A CP agent with a white bandage wrapped around his chest had an extremely cold expression. The slash wounds on his body were inflicted by this young man wearing sea stone handcuffs and leg irons. At first they didn't quite believe the boasts and warnings of the King of Kang Kingdom. After all, how could someone with such abilities activate their devil fruit powers while wearing sea stone handcuffs? During the transport he discovered that the young man was secretly trying to escape from prison and was eventually seriously injured by the guy's ghostly blue slash during the battle. All the CP agents then took this special prisoner very seriously. Using steel chains to increase restraint, beatings, starvation, injections of weakening drugs. They used them all on this restless special guy. They were worried that another accident might occur during transportation. It should be noted that besides these slaves and this unusual young man, the ship also carried the heavenly gold of the Kang Kingdom for the year. If anything happens to this golden warship in the sky, all of them, the CP agents, will be killed. The World Conference had just ended and the Azure Kingdom immediately launched a war and handed over this year's heavenly gold. It truly lives up to its reputation as a notorious warmongering nation on the Grand Line. This golden warship in the sky departed from the Azure Kingdom of the Grand Line Paradise. As they entered the high-speed ocean current through the gates of justice on Eni's lobby, the CP agents gradually lowered their guard. This unique triangular current connects the 3 major institutions of the world government, Eni's lobby, Impel Down, and Marine headquarters. It is also very close to the Sabayati archipelago. They simply couldn't believe that any pirates would dare to invade the heart of the world government's territory. Wrong. A few days ago a monster invaded the Holy Land of Mary-Giois during a world conference and even killed a naval admiral. However, this villain escaped to an unknown location amidst the full-scale encirclement and suppression efforts of the Marine headquarters. They probably escaped the Grand Line Paradise long ago, fleeing to the 4 seas or the New World. There's absolutely no way they would dare to stay in this core sea area. However, what they didn't know was that the more unlikely something seemed, the more likely it was to happen unexpectedly. No one expected that this monster rocks had actually not left this inland sea area. A small boat forced its way through the whirlpool current outside the high-speed triangular current, entered the high-speed current, and quickly approached the golden warship in the sky. The CP agents on the ship immediately went on high alert. When they finally saw the imposing figure on the small boat, they were all stunned, their faces instantly filled with terror. This is actually the most notorious pirate who caused chaos at the World Conference. Rocks, who could even defeat a Marine admiral. Ha ha ha, looks like I've got the development funds and the pirate ship I needed. Locust, greedily eyeing the magnificent golden warship in the sky, launched an attack without hesitation, leaping forward with a powerful lunge. At the recent World Conference, Rocks kidnapped 5 kings and beheaded a naval admiral in the Holy Land of Mary-Giois and finally met the king of the world deep within Pangaea. The monster's terrifying aura filled Locks with dread. He was completely outmatched, and after uttering those harsh words he decisively fled the sacred ground. While fleeing he encountered an incredibly powerful giant. The two clashed violently. He remembered the giant's name, Harold. Harold actually jumped directly from the Red Earth continent thousands of meters above sea level into the ocean on the other side of the New World. This shocked Rox even more. What an incredibly powerful body. He used the rope of the bubble elevator to quickly escape back to the Grand Line Park. Rox engaged in fierce battles with Admiral Harold on the Holy Land. As a result, after escaping from Red Harbor, he was pursued and besieged by the Fleet Admiral and other admirals and vice admirals. After a fierce battle, Rox finally escaped the area by jumping into the sea. He fled to the Kingdom of Lulusia, a member state near the Red Line, and secretly hid in Shadow Harbor to recover from his injuries and regain his strength. While recuperating in Shadow Harbor, Rox happened to meet a hot-tempered pirate thief. He hadn't expected that this little girl was also a member of the D clan. The little girl even helped cover for him for a few days and didn't report him. But when Rox left, he didn't say goodbye to the flat-chested girl and left Shadow Harbor under the cover of night. He needed to prepare for his grand plans for the future. He had been staking out this area for several days. This golden warship in the sky perfectly met his requirements. Now they have ample funds and excellent warships. It's that most evil pirate Rox. Quickly request help from Naval Headquarters. The CP agents aboard the golden warship in the sky were shouting in panic. No one expected that Rox would launch an attack near Marine Headquarters. This is absolutely outrageous. This is a provocation against the Navy Headquarters and the world government. However, under Rox, terrifying power and cannon-like slashing attacks, all the CP agents on the deck were instantly blasted into the sea. Ha ha ha, get the hell out of here. This is my spoils. Rox quickly eliminated the CP agents as this place was very close to Marine Headquarters and they had to leave as soon as possible. But this is FG exciting. He dared to trespass even in the holy land of Mary Geoise, so why would he be afraid of Marineford, the Marine Headquarters? The CP agents who had just rushed out of the ship's cabin cell also couldn't escape Rox's move. They were all instantly wiped out. After quickly clearing out the Navy and CP agents on the ship, Rox deftly maneuvered the golden warship in the sky, continuing its frantic journey along the high-speed ocean current. As he passed through the gates of justice at Marine Headquarters, he even let out a wild and unrestrained laugh. That's how audacious he is, that's how arrogant he is. The high-speed triangular currents in this sea area connect the three major world government institutions, Marine Headquarters, Ennie's Lobby, and Impel Down. The direction of a high-speed ocean current is irreversible. Each of the three government agencies has a massive gate of justice. If the warship cannot escape the high-speed current through the gate of justice, it will endlessly circle within the triangular high-speed current. Rox piloted the golden warship through the sky, quickly passing the gate of justice at Marine Headquarters and continued towards Ennie's Lobby. The world government and the Navy Headquarters were greatly shocked after the golden warship in the sky was stolen, and they acted swiftly. That lawless Rox actually dared to make a move on their doorstep. He's practically asking for death. They were determined to completely crush Rox on the high-speed triangular current. Rox, that reckless brute, actually chose to make his move right in front of the Navy Headquarters and then tried to escape using the high-speed ocean currents reserved for the world government. This was absolutely the most regrettable decision of his life, because he absolutely cannot escape the high-speed ocean current. However, no one expected that Rox's strength would be so powerful and terrifying. Before the main naval force could catch up, he single-handedly blasted open the gate of justice on Ennie's Lobby, stunning the CP agents and military personnel on the island, and escaped, disappearing completely into the sea. Rox has once again shocked the world. He not only stole the Celestial Dragon's heavenly gold, it also shattered the gates of justice that had stood firm for centuries. Rox's terrifying strength and lawless arrogance instantly raised his threat level to the highest level in the eyes of the world government. Meanwhile, in the cells at the bottom of the golden warship in the sky, amidst the repeated bursts of Rox's Conqueror's hockey and the roar of his cannon fire and sword techniques, the light in the young man's eyes grew increasingly yearning and fervent. Chapter 2. My name is Fang Huo. Guyue Fang Huo. Pirate. I'm cracked, but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 229ths. Chapter 2. My name is Fang Huo. Guyue Fang Huo. Most of the day later, in a remote part of the Grand Line Paradise, Rox was extremely satisfied with his masterpiece of the day. He has once again successfully slapped the world government in the face. So what if he made the move right in front of Navy Headquarters? What can those powerful naval forces and top world government officials do to him? Having escaped the danger, Rox relaxed. Finally, I had time to check my heavenly treasure and the slaves in the ship's hold. Hey, you little brats, get your asses out here. In the cabins and cells of the golden warship in the sky, Rox looked at the numb-faced slaves and spoke rudely. Just some elite soldiers. He didn't need such weak subordinates. Our benefactor, our country has perished, please take us in. Several young soldiers gradually regained their spirits and immediately spoke up excitedly. They truly hadn't expected that anyone would dare to attack the world government's golden sky warship. Then they wouldn't have to go to the holy land of Mary Geoise to become miserable celestial dragon slaves. Ha, a man from a fallen nation. I'm now the most wanted pirate by the world government. Want to follow Lao Tzu's words? Are you prepared to die? However, forget it. Your strength is too pathetic. I wouldn't even consider you. Rox looked at the desperate slaves, grinned, and looked down at these weak soldiers without any pity. We are not afraid to die, sir. Among the 50 or 60 prisoners, a small portion of the soldiers from the fallen kingdom immediately spoke up. But most of the soldiers hesitated. As soldiers of a nation, they really didn't want to become pirates that everyone hated. Most importantly, they now want to return to their homeland for one last look. They need to find the bodies of their deceased family members and bury them. Finally, I need to find a way to get revenge. Rox had seen all of these guys' performance. HMPH, my ship needs about 10 sailors and laborers now. On the next island, anyone who wants to leave, get the hell out of here. In the end, Rox did not kill these soldiers of a fallen nation, he gave them a way to live. Thank you, my benefactor. Some soldiers and prisoners immediately knelt on the ground and kowtowed in gratitude. As the gaze shifted, hey kid tied up like this, what special abilities do you have? Rox noticed the dark-haired youth who was being held in solitary confinement and bound like an iron ball. Ahem, could you please remove the explosive collar around my neck and the sea stone handcuffs and leg shackles on my hands and feet? The young man coughed, his weak voice carrying a hint of longing for life. Upon seeing that domineering figure, he knew he wouldn't become one of Satan Saint's experimental subjects. If he were to become a test subject, he would truly suffer a fate worse than death. Hey kid, answer my question first. You're my trophy now. Rox laughed. This brat not only didn't answer his question, but he even dared to make a request. He's got some nerve. Do you know anything about the World King on Mary Guyue? Also, my name is Fang Huo, Guyue Fang Huo. Fang Huo sensed the violent aura emanating from Rox, yet a smile appeared on his pale face and his spirit seemed to relax at this moment. What? Quote, you brat, do you know what happens when you lie to me? Rox's expression suddenly changed, his tiger-like eyes fixed intently on Fang Huo. He didn't quite believe that this prisoner brat could possibly know information about the king of the world. It should be noted that information about IM is very vague within the David clan. Nero Naim, one of the original 20 kings who has lived for over 800 years, is the world king who sits upon the void throne. Even the 5 elders are merely his canine servants. Fang Huo's dry chapped lips moved as he spoke weakly, as if he might breathe his last at any moment. Ha ha ha, you actually know that. Aren't you afraid of him? Rox, eyes lit up. This brat not only knew about the existence of the king of the world, but he didn't even seem to feel fear. Looks like you have some courage and boldness. He's starting to like the little guy. You should know that many people on this sea, even some of the most notorious pirates, can't help but feel fear when they hear the names of the world government and the celestial dragons. Rox readily broke the steel chains binding the courageous young man, unlocked the sea stone handcuffs and leg irons, and threw him out into the sea after breaking the explosive collar. With a loud boom, as the explosion rang out, Fang Huo's life-threatening crisis was averted. Why be afraid? We haven't even confronted him directly yet. Could you please bring me some water and food? I'm starving and thirsty. Fang Huo spoke weakly, as if he regarded Rox, this ferocious pirate, as one of his own. Ha ha ha, kid, you're really going to be rude. Locke was almost angered by Fang Huo's words, but he still handed the food and water to Fang Huo. Fang Huo wolfed down his food. I'm finally alive. Those damn CP agents, they didn't even give me a bite to eat or a drop of water, they almost killed me. Fang Huo's complexion had improved considerably, and the crescent-shaped mark on his forehead had regained a faint blue luster. If you hadn't tried to escape so many times and attack those men in black, they wouldn't have treated you like this. A young soldier muttered a complaint under his breath. Because of Fang Huo's resistance and escape, even they were punished, being beaten for no reason and having their food and water reduced. Ha, do you want me to just wait to die like you all? Fang Huo snorted coldly. If it weren't for these soldiers' failure to defend their country, which led to the country's destruction, and the failure of his plan to survive, he would have been forced to expose his abilities in order to protect himself. How did we end up like this? Ha ha ha, not bad. You little brat, you've got some guts. If you're strong enough, stay on my ship. Otherwise, after I tell you about the king of the world, you're off my ship too. Rox grew increasingly fond of Fang Huo, this little devil. However, his plan will not change. All he needs are powerful subordinates and partners. Both the sailors and laborers were only temporarily staying on the ship to keep it in motion. Rox, I see a glimpse of the future. Since fate has chosen us, we are destined to be in the same boat. After regaining some of his strength, Fang Huo slowly got up and looked Rox, this savage monster of the D-race, up and down. He met Rox's gaze directly. Seeing the future. Kid, tell me, what did you see? Rox became increasingly interested in Fang Huo's confidence and composure and crossed his arms and laughed. I saw you recruiting soldiers and building your own pirate crew, and I also saw you go to Elbaf to find Harold, the king of giants. Fang Huo stood up, grabbed some other food, and continued to eat heartily. Harold, so he's the king of giants. No wonder he's so powerful. Rox, eyes lit up. He had only met Harold once. He still doesn't know Harold's detailed information. He did indeed want to recruit that powerful giant into his group. However, the idea of recruiting Harold only came to him in the last 2 days. Could this kid really see the future? Is this a prophetic devil fruit ability? No wonder this guy was specially detained by CP agents. Locus, do you want to know more information that could change the world? Help me become stronger. The stronger I become, the more of the future I can see. I can even foresee information about the 3 ancient weapons. As Fang Huo finished eating and drinking, the crescent moon mark on his forehead emitted a faint blue light, directly revealing his needs and purpose to Locke. The 3 ancient weapons. Ha 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 ha. Fang Huo, I hereby declare you officially my first partner. I will make you stronger. Let's turn this world upside down together and bring down that world king from his pedestal. Rox, eyes flashed with golden light. He never expected that by stealing the celestial gold to fund his development and build his pirate ship, he would also gain a subordinate with the ability to foresee the future. It seems even fate is on his side. He'll definitely defeat that old monster, then seize the whole world and become the king of the world. Chapter 3, Paramesha type Moonlight Fruit Ability. Pirate. I'm cracked, but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 229. Chapter 3 Paramesha Type Moonlight Fruit Ability. Then you'd better protect me rocks. If I make a request in the future I hope you can help me out, I'll exchange more information for it. Fang Huo swallowed his food and immediately accepted rocks, invitation becoming the 001 Street member of the Rocks Pirates. They even started negotiating terms with rocks. Ha ha ha, that's great, a good exchange of benefits. Locks laughed heartily, his ambition growing ever stronger. He led Fang Huo and a group of soldiers away from the dimly lit ship's cell in a cheerful mood. The free wind, the warm sunshine. You only realize its value after you've lost it. Fang Huo stood at the bow of the ship embracing all this beauty, his eyes growing increasingly sharp. He vowed that he would never again become a prisoner. Sea stone handcuffs and leg irons, explosive Kalarsa, it truly makes one feel hopeless. Furthermore, he wanted to avenge the benefactors, the elderly couple from Guyue Village. Just then, as his physical strength and mental energy recovered, clusters of small white soul fire insects emerged around Fang Huo, swirling around his shoulders much like the awakening of a devil fruit ability. Hey kid, is this all you've got? Rox was very interested in Fang Huo's ability to foresee the future. His powerful observation haki was constantly scanning the small white fireballs that had suddenly appeared on Fang Huo's body. I guess so. The deep blue crescent moon mark on Fang Huo's forehead suddenly transformed into a crystal clear crescent-shaped blue crystal insect. 1 blue and 8 white, 9 small insects swirled around Fang Huo. Fang Huo gently held the small blue crystal insect in his hand. This tiny blue crystal worm seems to weigh almost nothing. The plump transparent little worms looked quite adorable. It was only the size of a jade pendant, and through its crystal clear body Fang Huo could even see the lines on his palm. What's this? Quote. Lox looked at him with curiosity. My power, my Guyue worms. Fang Huo spoke calmly, his eyes gleaming. This is the soul mutation he underwent after time travel. Soul worm. A fleshy chaotic mass of souls with a nose and eyes. As Fang Huo manipulated the blue Guyue worms to exert their power, a small crescent blade formed. The dark blue moon blade was over a meter long, resembling a crescent moon in the night sky. Go. Quote. The crescent-shaped dark blue slash flew out at incredible speed, carving a trench in the sea. That's way too weak. Rox didn't mince words and directly criticized, saying that this slash was indeed inferior to even an ordinary swordsman. This is just the beginning. Fang Huo glanced at the monster Lox and tenderly stroked his little blue worm and 8 little white worms. I slowly drifted into memories. His name is Fang Huo and he comes from Guyue Village in the southern frontier province of the Blue Star Dragon Kingdom. The villagers make a living and even become wealthy by raising venomous snakes, toads, scorpions, spiders, and centipedes. At the same time, Fang Huo is also a newly enrolled college student who has just turned 18. But to his utter surprise, just 1 or 2 months into the semester he struck it rich and was born. The place he traveled to was also called Guyue Village. Fortunately, this is not Guyue Village from the world of Guyue Junren, but Guyue Village from the world of One Piece. Otherwise he might have been refined by that old devil Fang Yuan. It's quite a coincidence that there really is an uncle named Fang Yuan in Fang Huo's village who shares the same name as that great love immortal venerable. He died in an accident more than a decade ago while in college. He was hit by a Dongfang truck. Now thanks to Fang Huo's incredible luck he has traveled to the ancient moon village in the One Piece world. Fang Huo felt a chill run down his spine upon closer examination. Could it be that his uncle Fang Yuan was really blown away by the east wind to Guyue Village in the world of Guyue Junren? If it's true, I hope we can meet someday in any of the 3,000 worlds. Of course Fang Huo didn't really want to see that cold-blooded and ruthless old devil Fang Yuan. To this day Fang Huo has lived in this world for 2.5 years. It took him 1 or 2 years to gradually integrate into this world and learn its language. Fortunately, perhaps his mother on Earth hadn't completely given up on him, or perhaps it was just a coincidence after he traveled through time. After Fang Huo was transported through time by the great fortune, his soul was literally shattered by the impact. 9 fragments of the soul split off. These fragments of soul merged with the power of this world, slowly transforming into the soul fire, or rather soul worms surrounding Fang Huo. This is both a split of Fang Huo's soul and a soul worm independent of Fang Huo. Fang Huo treated these plump soul worms like treasures. Fang Huo knew perfectly well that this soul worm was definitely his cheat code and power-up, and it was related to his future. But for the past 2 years he had not found a way to cultivate and use the soul worm. He tried the methods he used in his previous life to raise snakes and venomous insects, and even resorted to the elusive method of raising Guyue poison. But it still didn't work. Over the past 2.5 years Fang Huo has been learning the universal language and script, cultivating his physique and searching for a way to use the soul worm. Until recently, while searching for mountain produce and wild vegetables in the mountains behind Guyue Village, he unexpectedly found a devil fruit by the grace of fate. Only then did he understand the true purpose of his soul fire. Perhaps it should be called a soul-devouring worm now. One of the soul worms spontaneously rushed forward and devoured the devil fruit, transforming itself into a soul worm. The plump white soul worm transformed into a dark blue crescent-shaped Guyue worm. Fang Huo experienced the power and pleasure brought by the demonic version of the Guyue worm. Fang Huo began to understand the true meaning of the saying, humans are the most intelligent of all beings and Guyue is the essence of heaven and earth. It turns out that his soul fire can gain special abilities by fusing with devil fruit powers. That means Fang Huo could become a multi-devil fruit user with the abilities of 9 different devil fruits in the future. If his main body could eat 1 more, he would be a 10 devil fruit user. Fang Fang Huo learned about the Devil Fruit's abilities through a shared spiritual connection and resonance. Paramesha-type Moonlight Fruit ability. This is the Devil Fruit ability that Fang Huo's first soul worm fused with. Soulfire, who possesses the power of the Moonlight Devil Fruit, is now called Moonlight Guyue or Moonlight Soul by Fang Huo. It possesses the ability to unleash moon blade slashes, and under the moonlight it gains other enhanced abilities. Ancient Moon Village, the Moonlight Fruit ability, the Moonlight Guo. It all seems like a coincidence. After Fang Huo obtained his first ability, he seemed to see boundless hope and his ambition began to grow vigorously. However, adhering to the true principles of survival of the fittest, he did not intend to venture out to sea and make a name for himself so quickly. He plans to hone his moonlight abilities before setting sail to find other devil fruits. He believed that if he lived long enough he could become the strongest being in this world. The longer he has, the more abilities he accumulates and the stronger he becomes. Fang Huo once thought that Guyue Village was his lucky place where he was fortunate enough to obtain the Moonlight Fruit, figure out his cheat code and begin his journey to become stronger. But to everyone's surprise, just as Fang Huo was preparing to continue playing it safe and developing his character. Like the Guyue Village in Guyue Junren's world, Guyue Village suddenly faced its own doomsday. Fang Huo hadn't yet mastered the Moonlight Fruit's abilities, nor had he set sail to find a second Devil Fruit. The small country where Guyue Village is located was invaded by a powerful vassal state called Kang Kingdom. Amidst rampant plunder and massacres, Fang Huo, who had only recently gained the power of moonlight, was forced to resist in order to protect himself and the villagers who had been his benefactors. Finally, a powerful general from the Kang Kingdom suddenly made a move and instantly suppressed the budding Fang Huo. This filled Fang Huo with a sense of powerlessness and resentment. His journey to becoming the strongest had only just begun and it was about to end prematurely. Chapter 4. Revenge through utilization and the Gravity Fruit ability. Pirate. I'm cracked, but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 4229. Chapter 4. Revenge through utilization and the Gravity Fruit ability. After Fang Huo was forcefully suppressed, perhaps because he possessed a Devil Fruit ability, he was considered very valuable and became a key prisoner. However, Fang Huo witnessed the burning, looting and massacre of Guyue Village by the Kang Kingdom soldiers. This overwhelming rage caused Fang Huo to lose his mind and unleash his fiercest resistance. Even with the sea stone handcuffs on, he continued to launch moonlight slash attacks against the Kang Kingdom soldiers using the Moonlight Guyue. It once caused enormous casualties to the Kang Kingdom, but he was once again suppressed by the powerful Kang Kingdom general. Later, the king of Kang Kingdom felt that Fang Huo was a very special ability user and might be able to fetch a good price. He reported this situation to the world government, hoping to sell Fang Huo to the world government in exchange for some reduction in the heavenly gold. After all, the world government has always been scavenging potential seeds and rare races from around the world. After learning about Fang Huo's special circumstances, the 5 elders including Satan Saint became very interested and agreed to the king of Kang Kingdom's request. A Devil Fruit user who can still activate his powers even while wearing sea stone handcuffs. If any research results can be obtained, it will be of great help to the Celestial Dragon's ability users. On the bow of the golden warship in the sky, Fang Huo sighed deeply as he recalled the simple and honest villagers of Guyue Village. Whether it was the ancient moon village of his past life or the ancient moon village of this world, Fang Huo did not want to forget them. So when Lox asked him his name, he couldn't help but use Guyue as his new surname. He might want to become a legendary old demon like Guyue Fang Yuan, a great immortal venerable. Reach the highest peak, he will never allow anyone else to control his life again. Even destiny and fate won't do. Weak is weak, what's just the beginning. From today onwards, focus on your cultivation. I don't need useless subordinates. Honestly, your physique is even weaker than those soldiers. Lox glanced at Fang Huo with a hint of disdain. Even a 5-year-old child from the David clan would probably have a stronger physique than Fang Huo. His first partner, Officer 001, is way too weak. If it weren't for that ability to foresee the future, Rox helped me kill that BD from the Azure Kingdom. I'll tell you which powerful individuals you can successfully recruit in the future. Fang Huo suddenly looked at Lox seriously and made his first request and deal, his tone very solemn. Ha, so quick to think about revenge, huh? No problem. Quote. Lox laughed heartily and readily agreed to Fang Huo's request. He originally planned to spend 8 to 10 years using the Davy Backfight game to recruit strong opponents he deemed worthy from around the world. Now he has Fang Huo, a guy who can see the future, to help him. That would greatly shorten the time he would have to seize and gather his subordinates. After all, on this vast ocean there are many powerful individuals who would rather die than submit, especially those with Conqueror's Haki. They would rather be killed than abide by the contract of the Davy Backfight game and become someone else's subordinate. That means Locus will likely waste a lot of time navigating and killing these unruly creatures. Is Lord Rox going to deal with the Azure Kingdom? Please take us with you. These prisoner soldiers spoke excitedly, their eyes filled with longing. This is the most notorious pirate who can take down a marine admiral. Perhaps we really can break through the Kang Kingdom. I only promised Fang Huo I'd take down one guy from the Kang Kingdom. Rox raised an eyebrow and smiled. He had no time to avenge these worthless soldiers. Unless Fang Huo is willing to provide more valuable intelligence. For example, information about the 3 ancient weapons. Rox originally planned to rob the golden warship in the sky and then, based on the wanted posters, first screen all the pirate crews in the Grand Line Paradise. But now that Fang Huo has spoken, let's set off for Kang Kingdom directly. Let me vent my anger for being my first cadre. Fang Huo's eyes flickered as he looked at the dark blue moonlight Guyue and the 8 plump white soul worms in his hand. I can still obtain 8 more devil fruit abilities. When Fang Huo faced that powerful figure from the Kang Kingdom, he sensed that his soul worm was developing a strong desire for this devil fruit user. This desire was just as strong as the soul worm's previous desire for the moonlight devil fruit. This led Fang Huo to another shocking guess. Perhaps the soul worm can directly devour and fuse with the abilities of devil fruit users. This thought almost made Fang Huo lose his mind. He desperately wanted to verify this hypothesis. He now wants to pick off Rock's remaining enemies and finish them off in order to find the devil fruit power he desires. This will allow you to quickly become stronger. On Rox's massive ship, both the powerful ability users Rox is about to challenge and the terrifying 3 types of hockey are things Fang Huo desires. This is also one of the important reasons why Fang Huo abandoned the path of survival and quickly joined Lox. To be honest, if Guyue Village hadn't been destroyed, he would have even considered becoming a jailer and sneaking into Impel Down to develop his skills. But now the 5 elders Satan Saint have their eyes on him. He had no choice but to take a different path. If Fang Huo's guess is correct, the Kang Kingdom General's devil fruit ability should be the gravity fruit ability. Fang Huo still vividly remembers that powerful gravitational suppression. But that guy's strength is far inferior to that of the future Fujitora Isho. The current Fujitora Isho hasn't even been born yet, and it seems that the future Isho will also be a citizen of Kang Kingdom and will even rise to the position of captain of the Kang Kingdom's guard force. However, the Kang Kingdom, which constantly waged wars, was eventually destroyed by a more powerful nation. Yi Xiao, a war criminal who fled to the Western Sea after the fall of his country, later obtained the gravity fruit ability and the supreme grade sword, the Extreme Path Fireline. But now Fang Huo has arrived. All of the future will change. Fang Huo didn't care whether it would change the future or create any butterfly effect. He only wants to become stronger. As for whether Yi Xiao would eventually be born, he couldn't care less. What business is it of his? Speaking of which, the Yakuza frontline is probably still in Wano country right now. After all, it was next year, 55 years before the original storyline, that Shimotsuki Kozaburo, Shimotsuki Shizuko and Fuzuki Kisaburo defied the laws of Wano country, illegally left Wano country and went to sea to live in various parts of the world. Shimotsuki Kozaburo, carrying the great grade sword Wado Ikimonji and the Sandai Kidetsu, along with Shimotsuki Shizuko, the older sister of the Ringo daimyo Shimotsuki Ushimaru, arrived in the peaceful East Sea after 3 years and established Shimotsuki Village. Fugetsu Kisaburo, carrying the supreme grade sword the Extreme Path Fireline, drifted to the Western Sea. Shimotsuki Kozaburo and Shimotsuki Shinko married and had children in the area. Kozaburo married a local woman and had a son named Koshiro. His future granddaughter is Kuina. Vibrant married a local Roronoa Ichizaki who was the grandmother of the main character Roronoa Zoro. It lasted several days. The golden warship that had recently left the Kang Kingdom has returned. But this time it's an Avenger returning to settle old scores, bringing with him a demonic monster. The war ended quickly. Under Rock's terrifying power, the Kang Kingdom General and tens of thousands of troops had almost no chance to resist and were stunned and crippled by Rock's. Ha ha ha. Fang Huo, it's all yours now. Now I will begin my plan. I hope my subordinates will all be top-tier warriors across this vast ocean. Laughing wildly, Locke threw the Kang Kingdom General in front of Fang Huo, letting Fang Huo take revenge himself. General Kang never imagined that the little devil he had easily suppressed before would become his reaper. If he had known this would happen, he should have just killed Fang Huo. Now he only felt deep regret. The 8 soul worms on Fang Huo's body were already eager to devour and fuse with the devil fruit ability of the Kang Kingdom General. Fang Huo controlled one of the soul insects to devour the gravity fruit's power. This is both revenge for the villagers of Guyue Village and for my own future. Remember my name on your journey to the underworld. My name is Fang Huo Guu Fang Huo. With a cold gaze filled with vengeance and longing, Fang Huo killed the Kang Kingdom General with a single blow. The pure soul worm seemed more appealing than those devil fruits. Its unclaimed gravity ability even actively merged with the soul worm. The plump white soul worm had transformed into a small purple tiger-shaped worm. Rox, who witnessed all of this, was utterly shocked. Fang Huo, that brat is indeed no simpleton. He still thought the little gadgets around Fang Huo were Fang Huo's abilities. But to everyone's surprise, it could actually absorb devil fruit abilities. What race is this? Soul race. The Guyue clan that Fang Huo mentioned. Fang Huo has a total of 9 soul fire worms on his body, which means that Fang Huo can possess 9 abilities in the future. Damn it. Even Lox was a little envious of this racial talent. He also wanted that kind of extraordinary mutated talent. However, Fang Huo has a very serious problem. That means if you're not physically strong, even if you have a lot of abilities, it will be difficult for you to unleash your full potential. The Moonlight Slash ability is a case in point. He's not even as good as a swordsman. Lox frowned, hoping that Fang Huo, this little guy, wouldn't become too tempted by the immense allure of multiple abilities. After all, true strength lies in physical prowess and domineering presence. As Fang Huo's soul worm gained the power of the gravity fruit, it transformed into a gravity Guyue, a gravity soul. Under Fang Huo's control, the gravity Guyue merged with Fang Huo, transforming into a tiger-shaped mark on Fang Huo's arm. He manipulated his newly acquired gravity ability, unleashing a purple aura that personally crushed all the Kang Kingdom soldiers who had slaughtered Guyue Village into a bloody pulp. Finally, even the king of Kang Kingdom, who wanted to sell Fang Huo to Satan Saint, was mercilessly killed by Fang Huo. Fang Huo didn't care whether internal strife would break out in Kang Kingdom later. He no longer wanted to argue about right and wrong. All he knew was that Guyue Village where he had lived for over 2 years had been destroyed and the familiar elderly people and villagers had been slaughtered. What does it matter to him what the future power struggles and bloodshed in the Kang Kingdom are like? Chapter 5. Fang Huo the Murderer and the 7-Star Demon Sword. Pirate. I'm cracked but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 5229. Chapter 5. Fang Huo the Murderer and the 7-Star Demon Sword. Amidst the billowing smoke of war in the capital of Kang Kingdom, the golden warship sailed away gracefully in the sky and Locus also took the opportunity to plunder the royal treasury of the Azure Kingdom, seizing countless treasures. On the ruined island of the ancient kingdom of Guyue, Locus drove all the prisoner soldiers off the ship. Even the dozen or so young soldiers who had initially become sailors and handymen wanted to disembark and return to their hometowns. In the end only 6 orphaned soldiers with no family or support remained on the ship as sailors and handymen. The world government flag on the golden warship in the sky was removed and destroyed by rocks, and a black flag bearing the name Rocks D. Gibek was raised instead. They named this golden warship in the sky the Sword of Gibek. However, due to a lack of officers and strong individuals, Rocks is not willing to raise the Rocks Pirates Skull and Crossbones flag so soon. He wanted to witness the founding of the Rocks Pirates together with his future powerful subordinates. However, the world government has now officially designated Rocks as a pirate and the most notorious pirate at that. The bounty was issued a long time ago. Several days later. Ha ha ha. Fang Huo, your bounty poster is out too. Tisk tisk tisk, personally executing the general and king of the allied kingdom of Kang. What a despicable character. You know I kidnapped 5 kings in the holy land of Mary Geois and I didn't even kill a single one of them. Rocks grinned and teased Fang Huo but made no mention of the heinous act of killing a naval admiral. What a trash title. Fang Huo is frantically developing the abilities of these 2 devil fruits, trying to train and enhance his soul worm. During a break he finally had a chance to glance at his wanted poster. Guyue Fang Huo, murder and arsonist, has a bounty of 80 million berries. Only live. Damn it, the fire in the capital of Kangwang Kingdom was clearly started by Locks, so how did it get blamed on him? Ha ha ha, Fang Huo the murderer, that's quite an infamy. However, with this level of skill and bounty you still won't become one of my subordinates. You'd better work hard. Locks gave Fang Huo a deep look. He knew that Fang Huo, this special mutant, indeed possessed the potential to become an unparalleled powerhouse. The thought of a future user of 9 devil fruits is terrifying. On Rox's bounty poster was a long string of zeros. Rocks D. Zebek, the world's worst pirate, has a bounty of 3,811,540,000 berries. In this era this bounty far exceeds that of the greatest pirates of the New World. This demonstrates the importance the world government placed on Rocks. There are now famous pirates in the New World whose bounties are generally around 1 billion. Charlotte Linlin, who set sail several years ago, had a bounty of 50 million berries when she was 6 years old. It took her 5 years for her bounty to rise to 500 million berries. Charlotte Linlin, now 12 years old, already has a great deal of fame in the New World. At the time of the God Valley incident, Gilbass, a member of the Rocks Pirates, had a bounty of 970 million berries. Captain John Silveraxe and Ganzi, who were roughly in the same league as him, are probably worth around 1 billion berries as well. The stronger Whitebeard, Golden Lion and Big Mom should be a level above 1 billion, between 1 billion and 2 billion berries. After all, inflation wasn't that high back then. Only when these great pirates break away, form their own crews and become regional overlords, entering the era of the 4 emperors in the 3 legendary era and the great pirate era, will their bounties soar to 4 or 5 billion. Fang Huo, didn't you say you were going to go directly to find the strong? Why are you still lingering in the Grand Line Paradise? Rocks couldn't wait to gather his future powerful forces under his command and then launch an attack on the holy land of Mary Geois. Because some people haven't grown up yet. For example, this Charlotte Linlin possesses the iron balloon physique and is a Paramesha type soul fruit user. She's a future Yonko Emperor of the Sea and one of your top executives. But she's only 12 years old. Marlin, the leader of the West Sea Mafia, has grown up now. We can try to subdue him. Shiki, the Black Society, a Paramesha type float fruit user, has already risen to fame in the New World and could be recruited, but he is extremely arrogant and conceited. Edward Newgate, a pirate with the Tremor fruit ability, is currently a pirate combatant on someone else's ship. We must recruit him. He's very strong. Ganzi, the notorious smuggling pirate, is a Paramesha type devil fruit user with the bomb fruit ability. He's already quite famous. We can forcibly subdue him. Wang Ji, the founder of the pirate cult, this guy will betray you later. Are you still going to try and subdue him? Captain John, the Paramesha type magnet fruit user, this guy will betray you too. I've got my eye on his magnet fruit ability. Of course we're still sailing through the paradise now, mainly to seize the demon sword I've got my eye on. Is that alright? Fang Huo listed a long list of powerful figures for Locks. He had already checked the intelligence on these guys and confirmed the recent situation. They have all obtained devil fruit abilities. Therefore Fang Huo was not worried that he would interfere with their future of obtaining devil fruit abilities. As for Stussy, that scientific thief, there's been absolutely no news of him. He seems to have gone into hiding. Ha ha ha, just hearing about these devil fruit abilities tells me they're incredibly powerful. As for betrayal, we'll have to wait and see. However, Fang Huo, are you really only interested in the magnetic ability? The soul fruit, the float fruit, the tremor fruit, the bomb fruit, these are all powerful abilities. Aren't you tempted? Upon hearing so many accurate names, Locke burst into a wide grin. Finally he suddenly licked his lips and spoke to Fang Huo in a menacing tone. He didn't believe Fang Huo could bear to give up so many powerful devil fruit abilities. Whoever betrays me, I'll kill them. That's all right, isn't it, my captain? Fang Huo met Locke's gaze without fear. He knew his special talent couldn't be hidden from Locke. It would be better to just confront Rox directly. Rox, a member of the D clan, also seems to possess observation haki similar to the ability to hear all things. His thoughts can directly appear in the consciousness of Roger and Garp. Ha ha ha, no problem. As long as you're strong enough to help me defeat the king of the world, you can kill these guys as many as you want. They're not even on the ship yet anyway. Rox unleashed a powerful burst of Conqueror's haki, confident he could subdue Fang Huo, this little monster. I have no interest in the position of world king. My goal is the stars and the sea beyond this world. You should stick to playing around with I am and that sun god Nika in this world. Fang Huo shrugged and spoke calmly. Whether Rox believed it or not, he believed it anyway. Locke and Fang Huo stared at each other for a long time, seemingly trying to see through Fang Huo's true thoughts. But he chose to laugh heartily and ultimately did not refuse Fang Huo's personal request to sail the Grand Line Paradise and search for the Demon Sword. Fortunately he could proceed with his original plan and first have some fun with the pirate crews from the Grand Line Paradise. Let's see if we can find someone who was different from the strong person Fang Huo mentioned. After all, the future Fang Huo saw was not the complete future. Weeks later, the Sword of Guyue sailed on its journey, beating up every pirate crew it encountered along the way. Fang Huo also took action multiple times to practice and develop his moonlight and gravity abilities. Finally they arrived at Fang Huo's destination, Aska Island. Fang Huo and Locke charged through the crowd and soon found the ancient village guarding the 7-star sword. Fang Huo didn't waste any time with the guardian witch. He directly opened the altar and snatched the 7-star demon sword. Ha ha ha, it seems this demonic sword isn't much worse than my blade. When Locke saw Fang Huo unleash powerful soul energy and forcibly subdue the strange double-edged demon sword, he burst into laughter. My little brother seems to be getting stronger and stronger. However, only by becoming stronger can one qualify to become his subordinate. He actually subdued the 7-star demon sword. The priestess watched in disbelief as Fang Huo took away the 7-star demon sword, showing no signs of being controlled by it. That means their clan of priestesses, destined to guard the 7-star sword, has ended. They no longer need to worry about the 7-star demon sword breaking free from its seal. After obtaining the 7-star sword, Fang Huo unleashed a terrifying slash across the sea, his eyes filled with satisfaction. Having a monster like Rox protecting you is just awesome. Fang Huo will do his best to help Rox change his fate in order to repay Rox for protecting him. He made a scabbard for the 7-star sword and suddenly looked towards the East Sea. He considered whether to tell Rox about Roger's whereabouts. With Rox, charisma, was there a chance he could win over Roger and Rayleigh? However, Roger and Rayleigh don't seem to have set sail yet in Logatown, so their strength is probably not enough. When Fang Huo was collecting wanted posters and intelligence, he did not find Roger's wanted poster. 52 years ago in the original timeline, when Brooke sailed to the vicinity of the Devil's Triangle in the Grand Line Paradise, Roger was indeed a newcomer to the Grand Line. It shouldn't take more than 4 years to travel from Logatown to the Grand Line. Roger should still be in Logatown and hasn't set sail yet. Fang Huo did manage to find out about the Rumbar pirates who were sailing in the West Blue. Brooke had already left the Kingdom Guard and joined the crew as a pirate for music or some other reason. Brooke and Junko spent some time together during Junko's childhood. Junko has now grown into a young woman and serves IM. When Locke invaded the flower garden and met IM, Junko was also there. After Chapter 6 they even snatched Rayleigh and Jabba away. Pirate. I'm cracked, but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 6/229. After Chapter 6 they even snatched Rayleigh and Jabba away. Fang Huo, why are you looking over there? That's the East Sea. Could there be some powerful figure there? Locke's eyes lit up, sensing that Fang Huo was hiding some information from him. I heard there's a member of the D clan in the East Blue who joined the Marines. That guy's incredibly powerful. He'll be one of your future enemies. Forget it, let's head to the New World instead. Recruit your future subordinates in the New World and the West Sea. Fang Huo has no immediate plans to go to Sky Island to search for the Rumble fruit, since Rox won't let him waste any more time constantly seeking personal gain. Let's see the benefits and advantages for Rox first. Moreover, besides the 7-star demon sword, the other items with a specific location are the mythical zone type vampire fruit from Sleeping Ancient Island. These are all Fang Huo's targets. He wants to stay young forever. He even targeted Captain John's magnet fruit ability. We need to find an opportunity and a reason to kill him then. If you don't have the Rumble fruit for now, the magnet fruit ability will also work. The D clan, the Navy, a future enemy. Seeing Fang Huo's serious expression, Locke also frowned. How could a member of the D clan become a lackey of the Celestial Dragons? He engaged in a fierce battle with this D clan navy. Forget it, why think so much? Charge. Let the Rox pirates appear as soon as possible. I can serve as the first mate and help you enlighten these unruly cadres, guiding them towards the same goal. Fang Huo licked his lips, his ambition palpable. He wondered if a united Rox pirates crew could defeat IM. This is so exciting to think about. Furthermore, once the Roger pirates were formed, Fang Huo specifically led Rox to rob the Roger pirates crew members. They even forcibly took Roger onto the ship, Whether they're convinced or not, they'll just grab it first. Take them all, including Rayleigh and Jabba. As for timelines and the butterfly effect of the future, Fang Huo didn't care at all. If things got chaotic, so be it. You weakling think you can be the first mate. Awaken your 3 types of hockey first. Rox slapped Fang Huo on the shoulder, instantly twisting Fang Huo's face in pain. This guy is a brute. He has no sense of martial ethics whatsoever. I was also going to tell you some information about the Great Kingdom and the red poneglyphs. But your blow has wounded my fiery heart. Fang Huo activated his gravity ability and quickly flew to the top of the mast. Seeing the blood-red hand on his shoulder, he immediately started cursing. Ha ha ha, don't be so stingy, Fang Huo. I'm just reminding you of the importance of physique and the 3 types of hockey. Stop thinking about playing with bugs and stealing devil fruit abilities. Lox laughed heartily as if he had heard some important information. He knew the secrets of the red historical texts, but he didn't know where these things were scattered in the world. Did Fang Huo also foresee the location of these historical documents? Red historical texts, 3 ancient weapons. Lox grew increasingly excited as he thought about it. Fang Huo is truly a treasure. In that case, let Fang Huo kill whoever he wants to steal his devil fruit powers. Fishman Island has a red historical text and a letter of apology by Joy Boy. When entering the new world, be sure to visit Fishman Island. Also, one of your future subordinates is a catfish man named Babel. You can try to recruit him in advance. Fang Huo spoke irritably. These past few days Lox has indeed been doing his best to help him increase his strength. Of course, Lox was also afraid that Fang Huo, this weak prophet, would be killed by someone else in the future. Ha ha ha, red historical texts, catfish fish people, looks like my second cadre is about to board the ship. Lox raised an eyebrow and laughed. His plan was about to get on track. Troublesome. If my observation hockey isn't strong enough, I won't be able to sense the meteorite pulling me down. Fang Huo also wanted to awaken the 3-color domineering aura, but his physical enhancement was countless times slower than his soul enhancement. I've heard that it only takes a person 7 years to replace all the cells in their body. I wonder if that's true. If I live in this world for 7 years, will all the new cells in my body possess the power of this world? Fang Huo has lived in this world for 2 or 3 years and his physique has indeed been getting stronger, but he is still a long way from reaching the monstrous physique of this world. Gravity Gu, apply 5 times the gravity first. Fang Huo has now begun to use gravity for cultivation. The thought of the monstrous executives about to board the ship made him realize he had to become stronger. Otherwise they could easily be accidentally injured or killed by those nasty guys. Guys like Shiki the Golden Lion throwing bombs as a joke is nothing new to them. If you can't even stop a bomb, what right do you have to be a high-ranking official? Most importantly, this immortal being is practically cheating. He possesses various devil fruit abilities including teleportation, possession, immortality, enslavement and transformation, and also has powerful conqueror's hockey. Even if Rox, Roger, Garp, Whitebeard, Big Mom and Kaido of the Beasts teamed up, they couldn't kill him. This kind of big boss is terrifying. Fang Huo must become stronger as soon as possible, at least possessing the strongest strategic retreat capability. Hey Fang Huo, you already have 2 Paramesha type abilities and you still want the magnet fruit ability. Your constitution isn't good. I suggest you get a mythical beast ability first. Looking at Fang Huo diligently cultivating using gravity, Locke finally offered a suggestion. Captain, you're so clever. After we enter the new world, come with me to find a mythical zone type devil fruit. Following Locke's instructions, Fang Huo climbed up directly. He had his eye on the magnet fruit's power, but his next power has already been decided, the mythical zone vampire ability. After all, Sleeping Town is located at the very beginning of the new world. UBD, you're using me again, always thinking about your own things. Fine, I'll help you one more time. However, you'd better hide your bugs or I'm afraid someone will kill you. Rox said irritably. That brat Fang Huo is really shameless, always trying to benefit himself. First the 7-star sword and now the mythical beast fruit. However, considering Fang Huo's weak constitution, for Fang Huo's safety, Rox still planned to help him find a mythical beast ability to save his life first. Thanks Captain Rox. I will definitely do my best to turn the world government upside down. Fang Huo grinned. He boarded Rox ship precisely to utilize Rox immense power to help him with his work and get through the initial vulnerable phase. Once Fang Huo develops his power, he'll seize the abilities he wants himself. Then tell me about the ancient weapons from the 3rd generation. Seeing that Fang Huo was in a good mood, Locke casually asked, wanting to get the important information that Fang Huo had foreseen. Uranus is in the hands of the world government, but due to a lack of energy it is highly unlikely to be activated at present. Poseidon the sea god is a mermaid princess from some future era, she has not yet been born. As for Pluto the god of the underworld, the time is not yet ripe. Fang Huo suddenly stopped talking, raised an eyebrow at Locke and revealed a meaningful smile. What time? I see you want me to do things for you again to benefit yourself, UBD. Locke wanted nothing more than to slap Fang Huo flat. He hated bastards who only said half of what they meant. Hey, that's not how it works. We're doing a fair trade. However, Pluto is a super battleship, you wouldn't expect the 2 of us to pilot it, would you? We need to at least strengthen the Rox pirates first. Otherwise, wouldn't we be helping the world government find the Pluton warship? Do you think we can save the Pluto battleship? Furthermore, to operate the massive Hades warship, it would be best to obtain the assistance of the Giants. Legend has it that the Hades warship was built by the Giants and the shipwrights of Water 7 together. Fang Huo shrugged and quickly tried to calm the hot-tempered Locke, fearing that this brute might stab him. Chapter 7 Locks, your entanglement isn't strong enough. Pirate. I'm cracked, but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 7/229. Chapter 7 Locks, your entanglement isn't strong enough. Several days later, in a certain sea area of the Grand Line Paradise. Fang Huo, your physique is truly useless. Even an 8-year-old in my village is stronger than you. HMPH. Stop your blabbering. Having a bloodline makes you so great. I'll get stronger eventually. In a few years I'll definitely achieve a qualitative breakthrough. Despite his relentless training, Fang Huo's physique still couldn't meet Locke's minimum requirements. This was simply the weakest student Locke had ever seen. Even the little brats of the David clan are stronger than Fang Huo. The sailors and handyman on the ship were used to the daily squabbles between Locke and Fang Huo. They never imagined that Rox, who was capable of killing a marine admiral, would be such a person. Captain Rox, are we almost at Supremacy Archipelago? One of the sailors was a little panicked. After all, this area of water was very close to the naval headquarters and they were really afraid of being suddenly surrounded by the navy. Then lower the black flag and discreetly enter the Supremacy Archipelago. Locke was prepared. He wasn't a truly reckless brute and he knew when to keep a low profile. He even prepared cloaks for himself and Fang Huo. This golden warship in the sky had already been altered in many ways and had been completely transformed into a pirate ship. The world government has some reservations about Rox's repeated attacks on pirate crews during this period. According to intelligence, Rox seems to be constantly playing Davy back fight with those paradise pirates, but he hasn't managed to steal anything from them. Even a new supernova with a bounty of over $100 million wasn't snatched away by Rox. The world government was even somewhat pleased to see Rox help wipe out the pirate crew. The coding process in the Supremacy Archipelago went surprisingly smoothly without any incidents. The Sword of Gibbok successfully reached Fishman Island. HMPH. The world government is deliberately letting pirates and ambitious individuals from the Four Seas and the Grand Line into the New World. Furthermore, various pirate groups brought a continuous stream of slaves and treasure to the Supremacy Archipelago, while the Celestial Dragons deliberately left behind these illegal spies for their own amusement. The Supremacy Archipelago has now become the Celestial Dragons' backyard. A prosperous yet twisted island, the Celestial Dragons would not allow the Navy and pirates to engage in a major war here unless absolutely necessary. Rox snorted softly. He had experienced the darkness of the lawless zone of Supremacy Archipelago himself. Human auction houses and slave shops are everywhere. It's practically hell for commoners, paradise for nobles, and a haven for the Celestial Dragons. So Rox, you want to become the king of the world. Once you become king, will you change all of this? Fang Huo glanced at the disdainful-looking Rox and spoke calmly. Even if this brute manages to defeat and become the king of the world, he probably won't rule the world. Lox was taken aback. He hadn't thought that far ahead. A terrifying world king was already something he had exhausted all his efforts to achieve, yet he still wasn't confident. According to the traditions and intelligence of the David family, they must defeat the world king who possesses an immortal body. You need to possess at least 2 of the strongest devil fruits. One is the strongest mythical zone type, the Sun God Nika's ability, the other is the most malevolent Logia dark fruit ability. The Sun God Nika fruit's power possesses unparalleled combat strength and even some special ability to counter that old monster. The dark fruit possesses the bizarre ability to counter all devil fruit powers. However, he currently has absolutely no information about these 2 devil fruits. He could only place his hopes on Fang Huo. Let's think about it after we defeat that old monster. But aren't you still here? All I want to do right now is defeat the king of the world. Lox laughed heartily, completely unconcerned about things that hadn't even happened yet. If you ever face that old monster, don't be scared out of your wits. Rox tried to strike Fang Huo again, but Fang Huo quickly flew away to dodge. However, your ancestor David D. Jones seems to have had a pact with the World King Naranaim. Fang Huo looked at Lox and asked, to be honest, I also want to know what the contract between and Jones is. So you did know my real surname? Lox glanced at Fang Huo with a serious expression. Fang Huo even knew about the David family. The probability also tells them that they are living in seclusion in the Valley of the Gods. I also know that hangs Queen Lily's portrait in the Holy Land and looks at it every day, knowing that she can descend and possess the 5 elders and the Knights of God. Furthermore, every one of the 5 elders and the Knight of God possesses immortality. Only the highest level of Conqueror's Haki can break their immortality. Rox, your Conqueror's Haki isn't enough, is it? In a corner of the future I saw you unable to even kill the commander of the Knights of God. Your entanglement only delayed the Divine Knight Commander's immortal recovery. Fang Huo looked at Rox with equal seriousness. He couldn't understand why even Rox, Conqueror's Haki, couldn't defeat the God Knight. This is a bit tricky. What? Immortality? You can't even kill me. Lox's expression grew increasingly grim. His apprehension towards the king of the world and the 5 elders, the Knights of the Star Gods, deepened. Such a terrifying enemy, can I really defeat Therefore you need to train an even stronger Conqueror's Haki entanglement. Work hard. Fang Huo encouraged Rox, who was having some existential doubts. How can a captain be lazier than his crew? When Fang Huo trains in the future, Locke will also need to train twice as hard. Don't think that just because you can kill a marine admiral you don't need to train. It's far from enough to defeat an even stronger Conqueror's Haki entanglement. Rox felt he had reached the pinnacle of his power and planned to focus on recruiting powerful subordinates and finding 2 legendary devil fruits. He felt that the only way for him to reach Im's level was through his devil fruit powers. But now Fang Huo tells him that his overlord haki has not yet reached its peak and can still be improved. Joey Boy's god-level conqueror's haki could terrify Im into screaming and could force an awakened mythical zone user back into human form. Your journey is long, keep going. Fang Huo like an elder patted Locke on the shoulder and gave him a good lecture. Just as Locke was about to nod seriously, he saw Fang Huo's young face so close to his eyes and immediately flew into a rage. Get lost, I don't need you to teach me how to do things. Enraged, Locke unleashed his overlord fist, blasting the fleeing Fang Huo into the cabin. Captain Rox, be careful, we're still underwater. A dozen or so sailors and laborers trembled with fear, terrified that the coating would break and they would all perish at sea. Locke, you didn't heed the advice of your elders and now you're paying the price. Fang Huo let out screams and curses. TCH, you call yourself old? You brat, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Don't think you can lecture me just because you can see a little bit of the future. You yourself said that the future can be changed. Now you predict whether I'll beat you up today. Guess correctly and you'll get a prize. Rox grinned and clenched his fists as he walked into the cabin, ready to give Fang Huo, that arrogant BD, a good beating. I'm already injured, you can't hit me. Looks like your prediction was wrong. Behold my supreme elbow strike. Ah, I predicted you'd beat me up next. I want a reward. Ha ha ha, congratulations on your correct prediction. I'm really going to keep beating you up and the reward is an unparalleled giant foot. Ah, Rox, you just wait till I get my hands on you. Chapter 8, Fishman Babble and Samble. Pirate. I'm cracked but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 8229. Chapter 8, Fishman Babble and Samble. Fishman Island, 10,000 meters below the surface. On the dimly lit Fishman Street. On the dilapidated streets, Rox took down many powerful fishmen with a single punch. The leader of Fishman Street in this era was none other than the catfish Fishman Babble. His hair steamed like flames. Under Rox, overwhelming power, Babble was completely defeated and forced to join Rox' pirate crew. At this moment Fang Huo was floating outside the battlefield while all the other soul insects had returned to Fang Huo's soul. The moonlight Guyue transformed into a pale blue crescent moon mark on Fang Huo's forehead. The gravity curse manifested as a purple tiger-shaped tattoo on his arm. Furthermore, thanks to the moonlight fruit's power, Fang Huo's black hair can also turn into silver hair. This silver hair coupled with the crescent moon mark gave him a touch of Sesshomaru's ruthless charm. Fang Huo floated in the air watching Locke display his might and finally looked at a young merman figure. This looks a bit like Sambel, the fishman from Roger's pirate crew. To be an elite member of Roger's pirate crew, one must be quite strong. Babble Sambel, so interesting. Poaching start now. Hey, aren't you Sambel? How about living on the sea like your boss Babble, basking in the real sun? See that? That guy is the most notorious pirate with a bounty of 3.81154 billion berries, the strongest pirate in the world, and he even took down a marine admiral before. Fang Huo took out Locke's wanted poster and used it directly as a recruitment tool. What? 3.81154 billion Pele? You took down a general. Fang Huo's shouts immediately sparked a noisy discussion in Fishman Street. When the king of the Dragon Palace Kingdom and Prince Neptune heard that the most notorious pirate Rox had entered Fishman Island, they were all blocked from leaving the palace by their ministers. Fang Huo raised the banner of Locks and the effect was immediate. A significant number of powerful fishmen who yearn for sunlight and freedom want to join the Rox pirates. However, aside from Babble, Rox didn't take a liking to those weak merfolk. Even Sambel, whom Fang Huo personally recruited, was considered too weak in Locke's eyes and not qualified to join the ship. However, at Fang Huo's insistence, Locke eventually allowed Sambel to join. And so Babble and Sambel of Fishman Street officially became members of Rox's team. Led by the two, Fang Huo and Rox arrived at the sea forest and saw the two poneglyphs, one red and one gray. Fang Huo, do you really want to take this piece of red historical text away? Why not just make a rubbing? Upon hearing that Fang Huo wanted to take the red historical text away, Locke found it a bit of a nuisance. He certainly didn't want this huge rock on his sort of gib. Quote. Fine, if we don't want to bring it, we won't. Let's just make a few more copies. Since the captain was unwilling to take them, Fang Huo had no choice but to put the idea aside for the time being. Later, when I have the ability to store the fortress fruit, I can come back and retrieve it. The wealthy Rox and Fang Huo, along with Babble and Sambel, two penniless Fishman Street bastards, spent a few days living it up on Fishman Island, throwing money around lavishly. Finally, they reluctantly left Fishman Island. Amidst the cheers of countless Fishman thugs in Fishman Street, the Rox pirates departed the deep sea and headed for the New World. Shortly afterward, the sword of Debeck broke through the sea. The first to cheer was Sambel, the young fishman who was truly leaving Fishman Island for the first time. However, Babble, the leader of Fishman Street, once secretly visited the Sabayati archipelago. I'm going to make a name for myself someday and become a legendary pirate that strikes fear into the hearts of the world governments. Babble shouted excitedly. I want to be a great man like Rox too. I wouldn't say I could kill a navy admiral, but I should at least be able to exchange a few dozen blows with one. Ha ha ha, that's a great start. Fang Huo, where do we go next? Let's see which one we can subdue first since it's closer. Rox picked up a large stack of bounty posters to see which destined executives were still struggling to make ends meet in the early New World. Can first mate Fang really see the future? Under Fang Huo's persuasion, Sambal actually called Fang Huo the first mate. Sambal, I've already said Fang Huo isn't the first mate. My ship doesn't have a first mate. Whoever is stronger will get more spoils. Locke glared at Fang Huo, that cunning fellow, for daring to fool a newcomer. Captain Rox, even you are asking Fang Huo's opinion. Although Babel didn't call Fang Huo the first mate, judging from Locke's attitude, wasn't Fang Huo practically the second in command on the ship? And this ability to predict the future is so powerful, so mysterious. HMPH. Anyway, there's no first mate on board. Locke gave a soft hum, but he did not deny Fang Huo's importance. Even if you're not the first mate, call me chief advisor. Fang Huo gave Samble a satisfied look. The power of discourse can be established subtly and gradually. Next, let's go find that whale pirates. Edward Newgate and that whale Uhale are beyond our control. They just happen to be hanging around in the early part of the New World. Of course, we also need to gather information about Sleeping Ancient Town. Captain Rox, the plan is complete. Please give the orders. Fang Huo spoke casually, but in the end he still had to give Captain Rox face. Ha ha ha, let's charge. Let's seize our next partner. Rox shouted excitedly and everyone on the ship cheered. With Rox, immense power, the harsh weather of the New World was no problem at all. If you don't have a permanent pointer, go steal it. If you don't have any information, go buy it from the underground world. With a clear objective, Rox and his crew quickly located the white whale pirates who were robbing treasure in the early New World. Ha ha ha, Uhala the whale, let's have a davy back fight between pirates. The moment the two pirate crews met, Rox sensed Edward Newgate's powerful aura. This guy is definitely stronger than Captain Uhal the whale. Edward Newgate is only 18 years old this year and his signature white beard hasn't grown yet. At this moment his blonde hair was wrapped in a headscarf and he was wearing a simple vest that revealed his bulging muscles. At this moment he sensed the terrifying aura emanating from Locke and was equally shocked. He had never encountered such a powerful monster before. The most evil pirate, Rox. The moment Uhal saw Locke clearly, he was instantly terrified and wet himself. What makes him worthy of being approached by the strongest pirate with a bounty of 3.81154 billion berries? Lord Rox, you can have treasure, the pirate flag, or even me, just please don't kill me. The whale Uhale, dressed in a pirate captain's outfit, surrendered instantly, not daring to fight Rox at all. And joining Rox's ranks doesn't seem like a bad idea. Ha ha ha, you think you can become my subordinate? You're too weak. If I want something, I'll take it myself. Rox stuck out his tongue and licked his lips, then glanced at Edward Newgate, the strongest pirate in the whale pirates. Newgate was startled by Lox's intense gaze. Could it be that this most notorious pirate who killed a marine admiral is after him? Chapter 9, Edward Newgate, pirate. I'm cracked, but my mutation talent is incredibly strong. 9229. Chapter 9, Edward Newgate. Hey Rox, explain the rules properly. Don't just start fighting right away. At this moment Fang Huo spoke up. He remembered that in the original timeline Rox had subdued the pirate Edward Newgate 8 years after his rampage at the World Government Summit. But it's clear that Newgate has always harbored a deep resentment towards Rox. It's highly likely that when Rox defeated Newgate's former captain Uhaler, he went too far, causing Newgate to harbor resentment. It wasn't until the Beehive Island arc and the God Valley War that Newgate began to truly acknowledge Rox. Newgate is currently just a combatant in the whale pirates. He doesn't value treasure that much. He longed for his family and sent all the treasures and supplies he had received as a share of the spoils back to his home island of the Sphinx. Even Captain Uhal mocked Newgate for pursuing those illusory family members, saying that treasure was far more reliable. Now that Fang Huo has appeared, the time to subdue Newgate has been greatly shortened and Newgate's strength has not yet reached its peak. Perhaps this could make Newgate a true partner. At the very least, you should become Fang Huo's good partner. After all, Rox didn't value these friendships. Otherwise they couldn't just kill Edward Newgate and steal the Tremor Fruit's power. Which pirate in the One Piece world doesn't know about the Davy backfight game? Lox gave a soft snort but stopped himself from directly engaging Uhal in battle. He knew that Fang Huo must have a reason for saying that. Perhaps Fang Huo saw a more distant future. When the pirates including Uhal and Newgate saw that Fang Huo, this little guy, was actually able to stop the actions of the demonic pirate Rox, they all widened their eyes in astonishment. Even Rox has to listen to this brat's advice. Captain Uhal, Edward Newgate, our captain, wants to play a Davy back fight game with you. We hope you will abide by the rules. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to stop this strongest captain's actions. After all, he even dared to kill a marine admiral. Newgate, I'm sure you've already figured it out. We really did come for you. Captain Uhal, we want to defeat Newgate. We hope you will bring your strongest abilities and fight our captain with the determination to die for Newgate. Fang Huo floated into the air and spoke to Uhal and Newgate, ignoring all the other pirates. So it was all for me. Newgate frowned. To be honest, he was quite satisfied with his time with the whale pirates and didn't want to leave. He joined the whale pirates when he was young and he's very loyal. You want Newgate? I surrender. Newgate is yours. Uhal's expression changed drastically. He had no chance against Lox, let alone with the determination to die in battle. He couldn't even defeat a vice admiral, let alone Rox, who had killed a naval admiral. Newgate, please save me. Newgate, your strength far surpasses mine. You should become an even more famous pirate. Uhaler whispered a plea for help to Newgate, hoping that Newgate wouldn't provoke the monster Lox. Hearing his captain's plea, Newgate felt a pang of pain in his heart. His pirate comrade of many years was ultimately not a true comrade or family. They're going to sell him so quickly. Davy back fight is all about winning clearly and losing with understanding. We will never break the rules. If Captain Uhil wins he'll get a super henchman like rocks. Aren't you tempted? Alright, the rules have been explained. Let's begin. Newgate, do you have anything to add? To make Newgate more convinced, Fang Huo had kept the fiery rocks quiet for a long time. If it weren't for Fang Huo, this